Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect number 117. It is Sunday, January 4th, 2015. I'm David Lott. Joining me this week is Bobby Jackson.
Hello.
Jascha Wilson.
Hey.
And Michelle Curry.
Howdy doodly.
All right, guys, it's our first episode of the year, which means it is time to finally count down our top 10 films of 2014. As always, before we do this, we like to give a little disclaimer for those listening. As much as we love film and as much as we wish we had seen everything, we have not. So as you listen to our lists and you're wondering, wait, how the hell did you forget this? Or wait, why didn't you put this in there? Like, we may possibly have not seen it. Maybe we didn't like it. That could be too, but... it is possible we didn't see the film. After we do our lists, we'll mention what films that maybe are kind of high-profile, Oscar-buzzed films that we didn't see. But keep that in mind. Maybe we didn't see the film. And, hey, if there is a film that wasn't on our list and you really felt like it deserved a shot, let us know. Email us. You can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com. And even in general, if there's ever a movie you find that you're like, hey, this is a really great film, you guys should watch this or review this, let us know. We'll watch it. We'll talk about it. So, yeah, just give us a shout about it. All right, guys. Michelle, you are the newest member of our little clan here.
Michelle.
I'm guessing this is the first time you've ever put together a top 10 list for a year.
Yeah.
Was it hard to put together? Easy to put these films together?
Well, at first it was kind of like, wow, this is a little overwhelming. But then I really thought about it and I was like, well, it's just the top 10 of 2014. It's not the top 10 of like all time. So, there's movies that I'm like, oh, well, easily I loved this one, this one, this one, this one. These were great. And then the rest were all crap. So it's actually kind of simple, really.
Nice.
Which is nice.
Nice. All right. Well, you have the honor of starting us off. Michelle.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Oh, sorry. You have a question, Bobby?
Well, no, I not a question, just a general statement so that everyone is okay with the way we're going to do this, is that I just want to put it out there that there's no such thing as a bad list. There's just bad taste. So with that, go ahead, start off, Michelle.
Well,
wow.
Michelle.
Thanks, Bobby.
Just wow.
With that said, Michelle.
This is already going to get real ugly, like real fast.
Wow.
Like it's just going to be really.
Oh, no, it's just all in good fun.
All right. Okay. Well, with that said, Michelle, what is your number 10 film of 2014?
All right. Number 10, 2014 is Wish I Was Here. Directed by Zach Braff, starring Zach Braff. It was also written by Zach and his brother, Adam. For any of you who didn't get to see it, Wish I Was Here is, in a weird way, it's kind of like an early midlife crisis for this guy. He's just an average guy trying to be an actor in Hollywood. He's got 2 kids, wife, and he's just kind of feeling, stuck with the way things are in his life, in his career, in his marriage, in his relationship with his kids, and even his father and his brother. And they're just kind of a story exploring this time frame where he starts to lose it, and then he starts putting himself back together in a way. And I really liked it. I mean, I liked Garden State a lot, however many years ago that came out. And, it's not for everybody, but I've always liked Zach Braff. I like his comedy. I like his writing style. I like the way he kind of thinks. And I thought the movie was well done. It was good.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't see it. You liked it better than Garden State or same?
I think I like Garden State better.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoy this. This is just in a way, it's kind of the same because it was a guy kind of exploring, a time frame in his life, a serious kind of period. But it's different than Garden State. It's just a different maturity level. And I think it's because he's close to my age a little bit, and I kind of understand a lot. I don't know. It's different, but I wouldn't say it's worse than Garden State or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's good though. I liked it.
Cool.
It's number 10, so that's where it's at.
Gotcha. All right. You're number
That's
10.
the one he used Kickstarter for, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yep.
All right. So Michelle, your number 10 was Wish I Was Here. Jascha, how was it putting together your list this year?
Oh, I had no idea I was full of so much hate. Like, I really had no idea. Like, literally walking through, like, the 2014 list of films, and I was like, crap. Crap. Oh, definitely crap. Oh,
Yeah.
giant heaping pile of crap. Yeah, that one was okay. So we'll put that on the list. No, but no, I really had no idea that it would like be so kind of like a reminiscent of things that I really didn't enjoy a great deal. Like for me, enough to say that it was one of my favorite films of the year, which is kind of weird. I don't know. It just feels like weird to say, but that's just kind of how I felt when I was going through the list. I was just like, had no idea I was full of so much like animosity and anger towards some of these films. But I got through it, and I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff later on, and Bobby and I will definitely go rounds. But that's totally fine. I'm fully prepared for that.
Honestly, I don't think we will. I think we're going to probably agree on most of that stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. We'll have to see. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about some of the stuff that I'm going to put out there. But as for my number 10, I just saw it, so maybe that's why it's fresh in the head, but it also holds a special place for me in my heart because I had seen the original play when I was a child, and seeing it put on the screen was just, it was impressive, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So my number 10 for the year is Into the Woods.
Sweet. Anything about it in particular you enjoyed about it?
Well, it's directed by Rob Marshall. I mean, some of the actors that were in it that were really, really good. I saw it with my sister and my mom, and I learned all kinds of stuff from it from my sister because she's really into theater. But the girl that played Little Red Riding Hood was just like phenomenal. Meryl Streep was like amazing in it. Why are we laughing at me?
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you because you weren't here for our review, and Michelle particularly didn't like that actress. So, and I really didn't understand. So I like that you are backing me up here.
I did not like
the
Red.
chick is a Broadway performer. She was in Annie. Like, I mean, she played exactly. I don't know. Maybe she just played exactly what I remember when I saw it as a child. Like, that's the character, a very high pitched, kind of squeaky, person, but she had the voice for it, and she played the hell out of the role. Like, she was good. I thought she was fantastic. So, Michelle, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
I just didn't like it.
Well, it's so strange that all three of us, I don't know if it's a guy-girl thing or not, but the three guys on the show seem to like the girl and her performance, but Michelle, you just did not take to it whatsoever. So I don't know what that means. Like, is it just something about... what did you say that you didn't like about her?
Well, let's just put it out
her on the spot here.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
I didn't like her voice.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what it was.
I'm not saying she's a bad singer. I just don't like her voice. I didn't like her singing voice, and I don't like her speaking voice. And I don't even really like the character and the way it's written. It was pretty much just everything about it. About her. Yeah, no.
Cool.
Well, there's no account for tape.
You're picking up.
We're starting early here.
We have so many more movies to go through.
No, it's gonna get ugly. But that's why I put it as my number 10, because like I said, I remember watching the original years ago, and it just was kind of like a trip down memory lane. But I really enjoy the musical as well, because it's funny, it's well written, it's witty, and I love the idea of combining all these stories together to make one giant story. So that's my number 10.
All right.
Jascha, have you seen a lot of musicals?
I actually have. I've seen a fair amount. So, and I like musicals. That's one of my favorites. Another one that I would probably say is one of my favorites is Fiddler on the Roof. And if you've never seen it, that's an amazing musical. Like, you'd have to see it with like Topol, like the one that they made in like, I don't know, probably like 1984 or 85, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah. I agree with you fully on this one.
What?
Fiddler's awesome.
Who?
Fiddler.
Fiddler's awesome.
Oh,
I like Fiddler on the Roof.
Hitler. I'm like, how did Hitler?
Whoa! The show just took a dark turn.
Okay. All right. So, Jascha, your number 10 was Into the Woods. Bobby, how was it putting your list together this year?
Honestly, it felt really easy. For me, it was like the top 5 were locked into place pretty early, and they just always seemed to have stuck. And the other 5, a little bit harder, was more or less the placement of them as opposed to which ones. So It wasn't too bad. I mean, I did start to second guess it sort of last minute and was like, okay, but this movie was really good. Does it need to be here? Does it not need to be here? And I think I probably have seen generally almost all of the Oscar buzz-worthy films of the year, maybe with the exception of a handful. So I felt like I had a good taste of everything. And obviously these lists are so super subjective as to what they mean to you as opposed to just on general principle alone. So that, you know, putting the list together for me was the ones that just really stuck with me and resonated for the entirety of the time I saw them. So with that being said, my number 10 is Foxcatcher, starring Steve Carell, Mark Ruffalo, and Channing Tatum. And as I just said, this movie, it just disturbed me. It sat with me, and I was uncomfortable with it after I saw it. And I have to attribute that to the performances, mainly Steve Carell. He just played this really creepy character that in the story of it, he has this huge amount of money because he's part of the DuPont family. And he chooses to use his money to sponsor the Olympic team. And he wants to have the glory of being able to win the Olympics, have a team that wins. And throughout this course, he's trying to get these two brothers, played by Mark Ruffalo and Channing Tatum, to be a part of his team. And while he lands Channing Tatum straight off, he can't seem to get Mark Ruffalo, who he really wants to be part of the team. And so there's all these different themes at play. There's like this level of acceptance that's there from the Steve Carell character to his mom, that he wants to be accepted, from Channing Tatum wanting to be accepted as the best, you know, to be able to win the gold. And there's this brother rivalry that's there, and there's jealousy, and it all just goes to play towards the culmination of what goes on towards the end of the film. And it's just really, really catching and disturbing. And so that's my number 10 of the year, Foxcatcher.
Nice. All right. Well, for me, I had a hard time putting my list together. There were a lot of films that I really wanted to initially fit into this top 10 list, and they just didn't quite make the cut, which really bums me out. But I'll get to those later. And then the other problem I usually have when I put together like this, and it happens every year, it's like you're trying to compare a bunch of films that are of completely different genres, and they're almost impossible to compare to each other. And yeah, it may be easy to throw them all in a pool of 10 films, but then to order them is like, well, how do I say that this kind of movie is better than that movie? I mean, you know, it can be tough. So in a lot of ways, I had a hard time putting this list together. With that said, my number 10 pick is The One I Love, which Michelle and Bobby have recently spoken about on here. And I watched it just earlier this week, at the beginning of the week. This film was directed by Charlie McDowell, stars Mark Duplass and Elizabeth Moss. And yeah, I didn't have any idea what I was getting into when I saw this film. It's been a while since I watched the trailer, and I actually rewatched at least one of the trailers earlier today. And indeed, yeah, the trailer does a good job of not really giving you an indication of what this movie is really about, because you can't, in a way, you really can't talk about the plot without kind of ruining it. And it was really a lot of fun to watch. It had a very Charlie Kaufman kind of vibe to it, and I really dug it. So, The One I Love. It's available on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I think we've all highly recommended it at this point. So, yeah, that's my number 10 film of the year.
All right, man. I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I'm super excited to hear that it's on your list. I was like, oh, yay.
All right, Michelle, your number 9 film.
Okay, and even as I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm like, should I swap out 8 and 9? And it's just kind of been this debate that's gone back and forth in my head, because I know if I keep it the way I have it, you guys are all going to give me so much crap for it being so high up on my list, but I think I'm just going to go with it. So, here comes the crap fest. At number 9, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Crap fest.
Well, I have a feeling you guys are going to rank this much lower. I have a feeling you guys are going to put this much more in like 5 rankings, because you guys are such comic guys, and I was like, oh, they're gonna give me so much hell for this, for being number 9.
I was expecting, like, because you kind of warned me that there was going to be 1 or 2 that we were going to give you crap for, and I don't know, I was imagining something like that just didn't belong on the list at all, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, Winter Soldier, I think, definitely belongs on the list. I'm sure. I have a feeling that most of us all agree it's either on there or has a good honorable mention. But yeah, number 9, Winter Soldier. Let's see. Quick recap. I guess the best thing to go would be that Chris Evans reprises his role as Captain America, and it's got Scarlett Johansson doing her role, Samuel L. Jackson, and kind of puts that team back together. And then tries to, it's about S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of, quote unquote, like continuing on what the next phase of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be like, but things kind of get messed up a little bit down the road and chaos ensues, and I don't know. I really liked it. I like it because it ties into so much that's happening with Avengers and what's happening with the TV show, The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I thought it was really well done, honestly. I mean, for a sequel movie, especially a Marvel sequel movie, because sometimes they're not that great. The sequels aren't as good as the first ones, but no, I liked it. It's just, I'm a comic geek and I love them, and it's good. It's there.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you're number 9.
Number 9.
Jascha, what was your 9 pick of 2014?
Well, my number 9, I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of hell for this too, but I actually put Edge of Tomorrow as my number 9 because I just really thought the movie was a lot of fun. And I like Tom Cruise. I mean, if you don't know anything about it, it's directed by Doug Liman. Basically, Tom Cruise is trapped in like a universal circle of living the same day almost over and over and over again while they battle aliens. Basically a science fiction type of Groundhog Day. And I just thought it ended up being funnier than I really expected. And I mean, this is really hard to say because of how I ranked it. I loved everything about it up until like the very, very last like 5 minutes of the film. But aside from that, I really, really enjoyed it.
I have to say, I thought that would have been like a little closer towards like 5 or 6 for you.
No. I mean, I like Tom Cruise. Like, I mean, he's a weirdo. Let's not get that twisted. I mean, he can be a really big weirdo, but at the same time, like, I enjoy his movies. And I think, this was a fun action sci-fi film, and I liked it. So that's why I put it at number 9.
Cool.
Sweet.
I would not give you crap for that at all.
Yeah.
No.
That's solid.
Right on. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Jascha, you're number 9. Edge of Tomorrow. Bobby, what is your number 9 pick?
My number 9 is Unbroken, starring Angelina Jolie, or actually, she directed it, and it's starring Jack O'Connell. And that movie, again, it's one of these movies that after I saw it, I just was still thinking about it because what the character Louis Zamperini went through. Is that how you say his last name? I don't know. But
dude, your guess is as good as mine.
Exactly.
Okay, well, what he went through is just so harrowing, and you just really get to see a part of his life that was at the worst point of it. And when you think it can't get any worse, it does. But through all of this, he still managed to keep his head about him and understand and believe that he was going to get through it. And it's just inspirational in the sense that now, since I've seen that film, anytime I think about a little situation or anything I might be going through, I'll flash back. It's in the back of my head. I'm like, but remember that movie? Like, remember Unbroken and what he went through. And you see that, and to think that that was a real person, it's amazing to me that a story of such, I guess, impossible odds in the war, it took this long to be on film. I'm surprised that it took so long because it seems like something that should have been told a long time ago. But I don't know if it was maybe the tech wasn't there to do some of the scenes justice. But either way, I just thought that it was an inspirational film that just really sat well with me, and it was inspiring to see. So that's my number 10 or my number 9.
All right. Well, my number 9 film is a film that even as I watched the first 30 minutes to an hour, I really did not expect that I would even have this on my top 10 at all. But after it's all said and done, I really can't deny Boyhood. Boyhood's my number 9 film. It's a film that I just saw a couple days ago. And yeah, I don't know, like 30 minutes, an hour into it, I was kind of not feeling it. I'm like, this is not really great acting. And I'm not really sure if this is just kind of a gimmick thing. And that's why it's got so much praise, that everyone more so loves the fact of how it was made than what the actual finished product was. But in the end, I mean, yeah, it's got an unconventional plot, and it's just kind of a fly on the wall kind of look at a boy's life through a 12-year period, I think it was. And you find yourself really relating to a lot of it, and it making you think about boyhood and me, like fatherhood for my son. And yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty powerful film. And you can't deny too that this is something that, yeah, it definitely hasn't been done before. And I don't know if we'll ever see anything done like this again. It was a unique experience being able to watch an actor actually age 12 years throughout this film. And I was pretty impressed. Yeah, there's definitely times where, yeah, like I just said, the acting is kind of not even just the kids. You almost expect it from the kids, but there was even adult acting in it from actors that I believe are good actors. And I was like, wow, man, this is rough. But but still, in the end, I really enjoyed it. It's a little long, but I didn't find myself going, man, as long as this ever going to end. I mean, it's got a 2 hour and 45-minute runtime, which I didn't know going into it. But I enjoyed all 2 hours and 45 minutes of it. So I'm still shocked to say that Boyhood is in my top 10. It's my number 9 film of the year.
I definitely thought that was one of those appealing factors of the movie, the fact that it just sort of shows you just a slice of life of this kid. And yeah, it's something that can resonate with anyone that's watching it. And it's almost at times effortless when you're seeing the acting. Because it just seems like you're just dropped in a conversation, in the sense of like, it just looks like they just started rolling and it's a natural thing. And then other times it does seem a little forced with the acting. But overall, it's such a testament that, like you said, something like this was put to film, and so ambitious. And it was just a good all around, I guess, enactment of this whole story of this kid, and just seeing it through his lens and seeing him go through these years as he progressed in the story, and to see what kind of came of him. It was just really good. Yeah.
I mean, it had an authenticity about it that I haven't seen in a lot of films. I mean, you see tons of coming of age stories about kids, and you see what, life is like for a child growing up. And there's something about this, though, that was like, man, that really feels like my childhood. Like, I really feel like I was experiencing all these things that this kid's going through, much more than any other film I probably have ever seen. So yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
All right, Michelle, moving on up. Michelle, what was your number 8 film of the year?
Number 8 is the Lego Movie. This one it's just a fun movie. I mean, I don't have kids, so I haven't watched it 50 million times. So I'm sure there's people out there that are going, I've
tried to get my kid to watch it. He won't even watch it yet.
Really?
Shows no interest yet.
I've got friends that are always like, everything is awesome. I'm like, it's a cute. And they're like, yeah, you haven't watched it, 100 times this month. So you don't, but I've seen it twice. I've enjoyed it both times. I mean, I realize that, like I said, I'm not a parent, and they've also watched it a million times, but I really enjoyed it. I love watching the Legos kind of just come to life on screen. I mean, I play all the Lego video games, and I played with Legos when I was younger, and, if I'm around with little kids and they're playing with Legos, I'll jump in there, and it's fun to kind of to see a movie, a whole storyline unfold that's an imaginative creation out of somebody's mind. And it's something that, as a kid, you would have kind of come up with a funny little storyline like this. Like, I could totally see it. And it was neat to watch everything on the screen itself, the way it was done. The whole thing was completely digitally animated. And at times, it almost felt like it was stop motion. Like, it felt really vivid. Like, it was really, they did a really excellent job putting it together. And then just the actors in it were great. And some of the, little quippy one-liners. There's things that... Most of the jokes were for kids, but there were things that were like, oh, that's not a kid joke. That's kind of an adult joke. And I kind of like that they snuck that in there. But, Chris Pratt's in it, Will Arnett, Elizabeth Banks, Will Ferrell and God himself, Morgan Freeman. It's it's fun. It's a fun, good movie, and I love every second of it. So, yeah,
awesome. The Lego Movie, your number 8. All right, Jascha, what is your number 8 film of the year?
This was hard for me because I could swap this out with maybe a different film or something like that. But I'm going to go with Interstellar as my number 8. Directed by Christopher Nolan, Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain. I just thought it was a really fun, science fiction story. And it's another one of those movies where it was great up until it kind of lost me towards the very, very end. But I still really enjoyed the movie, and I can see myself definitely watching it again because the landscapes and everything was great. Some of the ideas that they flipped around in the story were a lot of fun. It was just a fun movie. I enjoyed it.
Nice. All right, Bobby, moving on. What is your number 8 film of the year?
Before I get to my number 8, I got to say, so far I'm really loving everybody's list, so I'm not complaining about anything.
Nice.
Okay, so my number 8 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And this, to me, felt like how you really are supposed to make a movie when you have the title characters in the film. It shows you the apes, which is what you want to see when you pay your money to go see the movie. And you get that plenty because you get a good 30 minutes or so, it seems like, before you even see a human in this film. And when you see the motion capture work done by Andy Serkis and Toby Kebbell, it's just fascinating to watch them. And you could just really watch a whole movie of just that interplay in their society without even putting any humans in. That being said, it does add an extra element once the humans come into it because they're in the same sense, should you root for them? Because you see how the monkeys are living and their society, and you kind of understand it, and it's a simple thing. And in this, it's like the humans are the bad guys. And so, yet you're a human yourself as you're watching this. So you're like, should I be identifying with the humans or more with the apes? And it just brings upon all these questions. And it's definitely an allegory to life in a lot of ways. But I just really was a fan of just the way it looked visually and just the story, and can't wait till the next one comes out. So number 8, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Nice. All right. My number 8 is The Babadook from first-time director Jennifer Kent. It was dark and pretty fucked up, and I kind of loved it. It's been called the scariest film some people have ever seen, and yes and no for your reasons why. I mean, yeah, it's pretty messed up, but maybe not for the reasons you might expect, but it's definitely worth a watch. Just don't expect to get kind of, jump out of dark corners kind of scares. That's not going to happen in this. I mean, you get a little bit of that kind of thing, but really not much. It's messed up on a much more human level, and looking at parenthood and loss and what can happen to a human mind and the wrong, circumstances. So, I was really impressed by a film that I hadn't even heard of until right about the time it came out. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. And I just really enjoyed The Babadook. So that's my number 8 film of the year. Michelle, moving on up. What is your number 7?
My number 7, I think this is the first time we're going to actually repeat something, is The One I Love. I saw it a little while ago, and I just loved it. There's just something about it that just kind of grabbed me. I think it's something that, and I said this when I kind of reviewed it, I think it's a movie that anyone who's ever been in any type of a long-term relationship on any kind of level, you can find things that you see in your partner, and you can relate to what the actors are going through in their situation with their relationship. And it was just good. It was good. It's a little weird, which is great, and it's a good one. Go see it, Netflix.
It's pretty much free as long as you have a subscription. Definitely see it.
I think it's you can probably rent it on Google Play.
Yeah, you probably can.
I'm sure it's available on other things too, but it's there. Go see it.
Definitely go see it. All right, so your number 7, The One I Love. Jascha, what was your number 7?
Well, in the same breath of Michelle just saying, repeating something, my number 7 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I really, really enjoyed that movie, and again, with Bobby, it's like you really find yourself associating more, at least for me, with the apes than, what they're trying to do opposed to what the people are trying to do, because they really do kind of paint the picture as like a lot of the people in the film as they're the villains, and it's just, I don't know. I really liked it. The stop motion, Andy Serkis, the guy Toby, who played Toby Cabell, excuse me. It was just a really, really good movie, and I like Bobby. I'm totally excited and can't wait to see where they're going to take it in the next one.
Cool. All right, Jascha, your pick is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Bobby, what was your number 7 film of the year?
I got at 7 Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. This guy's portrayal as Lou Bloom, it's both frightening and inspiring at the same time. And how you do that, I don't know, but he seems to be able to pull it off, because Gyllenhaal, he transformed his body, his speech patterns for this character, and he adds this sort of coldness and a matter-of-factness to him, to where when you see him, you almost get the same sort of vibe you get from seeing a movie where someone is just sort of detached, but yet they're still talking to you, and you're just looking at them like, this guy can't be for real right now, but yet he's dead on serious. Sort of like Christian Bale in American Psycho kind of thing. And seeing this film, it really sort of shined this light to me on the world of being like a freelance cameraman that's getting these gruesome stories so that they can sell it to the news stations to make some money. And it's just so weird and surreal that on a certain level, obviously this is portrayed and blown up for this film, but on a certain level, to know that that's someone's job, to be out late nights looking for the car crashes or to look for the stories that they can just get something to be able to sell. It's so weird. And so now, ever since seeing that film, when I watch the news, I'm always looking at that and thinking about that. That's someone's job to go out and get that. So that's what made me put Nightcrawler at my number 7 spot.
Nice. All right. My number 7 is Snowpiercer. From director Bong Joon-ho. It's been a while since I've watched this, so in a lot of ways it's almost, don't get me wrong, I love the film and I'm trying to remember like all these details about it that I love, but it was just the kind of film you don't see every day. You definitely don't see from an American director, and I just ate it up. I wish we could get more films like this and not just from foreign directors. And I love that Bong Joon-ho stuck to his guns, even though Weinstein's really wanted him to make changes and he didn't. And unfortunately, that's the reason why a lot of people still haven't even heard of this movie. But it's a movie, again, that's on Netflix right now. So if you have Netflix, you should watch this, in my opinion. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite films of the year. So Snowpiercer is my number 7.
We all love that one. Well,
yeah, I completely forgot all about that. Like, I was like, damn it, that's a good one. Son of a bitch.
I liked it. I didn't think it was top 10 worthy, but I liked it. It's in my honorable mention section.
I didn't mention any names.
You didn't have to. All right, moving on up the list. Michelle, what is your number 6 film of 2014?
Number 6, and I'm kind of surprised this even made my list because, at first I was kind of not sure about this film, but it's a film that I watched, and like 3 days later, I finally cemented the fact that, yeah, I liked it. I liked that movie. It's a good movie. And that's Birdman. It's not a traditional movie that I think every audience member is going to come out and go, that's amazing or whatever. It's unique. It's different. But for me, the staying factors with Birdman were the things that jumped out at me immediately. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. The music that they did in that is just awesome. And then I love the cinematography on this. Like, that's got to be hands down some of the best cinematography work I've ever seen in my life. The editing and just the whole visual feel of the movie and the tone that it set was just awesome. And then the acting, I was really blown away with Michael Keaton and Ed Norton. It was some of the best acting I've seen. I would say it was probably some of the best acting I've seen all year. But yeah, Birdman came out of nowhere and surprised me, and I had to think about it. But really, when it comes down to it, I liked it. It's good.
Awesome. All right, Birdman's your number 6. Yasha, what was your number 6 film?
Everything is awesome. I went with the Lego Movie as my number 6. I've seen that a couple of times, and like honestly, if I'm doing something in my room and I'm flipping channels looking for something just easy to listen to or something silly or something like that, I'll leave it on the Lego Movie. Like, I'm not ashamed. I'm proud of that. That's fine. I put it on and I just and that's perfect background noise because you don't have to pay attention to it, but you can still laugh at the comments that they make because, yeah, there are a lot of jokes in there for kids, but it felt like there are just as many jokes in there for adults. And it was really funny, and I thought it was great. And I recommended it to a couple of friends who don't have kids, and they've happened upon it, and they're like, oh, yeah, I watch it. And then when they're like, I'll watch it. And then when they finally do, their response is, dude, that movie was hilarious. And I was like, right? And he's like, yeah, that was really funny. So my number 6, Lego Movie.
Nice pick. Bobby, your number 6 film of 2014.
Well, this is my first double for the list, and it happens to be Interstellar. Oh, man, this movie, I love sci-fi films, and when we get movies that are sci-fi and they're that space travel, or they are exploring that world of like the theory of relativity, dealing with time and all those factors, man, that's just like heaven to me because it's all so unknown, and so someone's interpretation of it I always find very fascinating. So to me, what Christopher Nolan put together was, on one hand, completely original, and it was ambitious. And everyone talks about how there's not enough originality in films and that there's not a lot of scope to anything. And he, to me, did both things. And everyone can sort of differ on the points of whether he sort of stuck the landing or if it's like as good as it should have been. But for me, the part that resonated the most was the emotional side of it. Seeing Matthew McConaughey's character as this father that just wants to get back home to his kids, I found it to be very gripping and emotional. And while other people were debating the factual aspects of the science, that emotional core just really drew me in. And I loved the science, and like Jascha was saying, just the landscapes and the scenery that you saw of the other planets, and seeing it in IMAX. It was just a great experience, and I just really, really dug Interstellar a lot. So that's why it's at my number 6.
All right. Well, I haven't repeated a film yet that anyone else has listed, and I'm still not going to. And the fact that
you're so awesome, David.
The fact that
David is the king.
I might get attacked. I don't know. The fact that I'm the first one to mention this film, it's got to mean that I've got it at the lowest position, I'm guessing. Michelle, I don't know where you have this, but my number 6 film is Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, a film that, when I first heard about this at, 2012 Comic-Con, a comic I'd never even heard of. I ended up starting to read this comic and fell in love with it. Was more excited about this than probably just about any other comic book movie in a long time, and it did not disappoint. I loved it. James Gunn did a fantastic job. I mean, to take something that a lot of people had never heard of and turn it into what I believe is still domestically the number 1 grossing film of the year. I know it's not worldwide. Unfortunately, I think Transformers is worldwide, which is really depressing. But
very depressing.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a feat, and I cannot wait for more. I'm glad that it's going to get a sequel and not just be, hey, now we're just going to include them in these other films. I hope to see at least a couple more solo Guardians of the Galaxy films, and I loved it. So yeah, that's my number 6 film of the year.
I am picking my jaw up off the floor. Like it shot down so fast. I was like, what?
Hey, I mean, it's great. But
no, it's great. No, I'm just 6.
6 is good.
It's middle of the road.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
I know.
I don't know what to say.
So I'm sitting here cranking my jaw back up. So I'm like, oh my gosh. What?
All right. Well, we are halfway there. So Michelle, tell us, what is your number 5 film?
All right. My number 5 film for 2014 is Unbroken. It's just like what Bobby was saying. It's emotion. It's probably for me, it was the best emotionally involved movie I've seen in a while that really just got to my core. Jack O'Connell, the actor who plays the main character, is really, really good in this. And I'm glad that they got someone who was a relative no-name. He's done a few little things here and there, but this was his big kind of breakthrough, I think, performance. And gosh darn it, he did a good job. And I thought it was just really well. Like, it emotionally connects, and it shows you a side of humans and our power inside of us to overcome and be resilient in situations that are really kind of unfathomable. And it was really, really good movie for me. Nice. Unbroken,
number 5. Jascha, what is your number 5 film of the year?
My number 5 is going to be Chef, written and directed by Jon Favreau. I just really like Jon Favreau's work. He doesn't seem to be able to not tell a really good story. Stuff that I watch, I thoroughly enjoy. And this movie is about a lot of things, venturing out on your own, being brave enough to do that, taking chances, father-son relationships. I just really enjoyed the movie, and I thought it was a great story, and it was kind of like a really good feel-good movie, and I enjoyed it. So Chef was definitely my number 5.
Nice. Yeah, it's one I've been meaning to watch and I haven't seen yet. But.
It's on my list to definitely see soon.
Yeah. All right, Bobby, what is your number 5 film of 2014?
Okay, so I got Whiplash at number 5. Oh, man. Anyone that's ever been in band or some sort of competitive sport, I think they'll recognize shades of this music instructor played by J.K. Simmons. He's this impossible taskmaster. He has this teaching style that just borders on sadistic, and it's most definitely abusive. And I just thought that Miles Teller did such an excellent job being this student trying to live up to those impossible standards that are being set in front of him. The music in this film, it just sort of sits with you throughout the entirety of the film. This whiplash piece that Teller is trying to perfect. It's just so, it sounds so impossible to do when you see them trying to perform it. And so you really feel for the character as he's trying to learn it, and he's pouring everything he's got into it to the point where he's bleeding, trying to learn these drums on this song. And just the score with the jazz, it all blended together so well to make just such a good film. And I really love this movie. So Whiplash is my number 5 spot.
Nice. My number 5 is a film that's already been mentioned a couple times, and that is Interstellar. It is a film that, I don't know what else to say that you guys haven't already said. I could see that maybe my interest in it is greater than a lot of people out there because I also just love the science behind it, and maybe people that just aren't into the science are a little more bored by the subject matter. Though I would still agree with you, Bobby, that there's more than just the science that makes this film great. And I think that's what makes this film great too. So I loved it a lot. I'm depressed I didn't get to see it in IMAX. Even though I mean real IMAX, though I saw it in fake IMAX. But that bums me out. But and that will probably never happen. But
yeah,
Interstellar is my number 5 film of the year. Michelle, your number 4 film.
Number 4. I actually just watched this one yesterday, and I'm glad I finally got to watch it because it wedged its way into the list, and it's number 4. But for me, it's Edge of Tomorrow.
Nice.
I thought it was excellent. I was looking forward to seeing this movie, and it was just one of those that kind of just kept getting pushed back on the back burners. But man, I'm glad I made the time yesterday because it was excellent. Like, I mean, it really was. It was well done, and Tom Cruise does an excellent job, and Emily Blunt's in it, and she does a really good job. I was like, you go, girl. Kill them aliens. Do that. Get in there. Get violent. I like it.
Nice.
And then I have to say I'm sure everybody knows at this point it's about an alien attack and fighting the alien attack. But I mean, visually, they were those are the coolest aliens I think I've ever seen. I've never seen aliens that look like that in any other movies at all, or the idea behind them was really cool too. And so, but yeah, it's a good storyline, and from start to finish, I liked it a lot. So yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
You're number 4.
I gotta say, while those aliens are cool, aliens are still the coolest aliens I think I've ever seen.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here. Those are pretty dark. They're pretty messed up, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool.
All right. Oh, Jascha, what is your number 4 film of the year?
I couldn't stop talking about this movie when we reviewed it, and I think we were all kind of on the same page. My number 4 is Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher, and I put it in there because I remember something that I said about it, and it was basically like I could have watched another half hour to 45 minutes of this movie based on the character development alone and how interesting and how interested I had gotten into it, and it was deep. And I mean, with Ben Affleck and the lady's name, Rosamund Pike, Neil Patrick Harris, even Tyler Perry showing up in the movie, like I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. Like, and I haven't seen it a second time, but I will not put it past myself that when I run across it on HBO or something like that, to stop what I'm doing and be like, yeah, I'm going to watch this right now.
Nice. All right, Gone Girl, you're number 4. Bobby, what is your number 4 pick of the year?
Yeah, well, you've said it a little earlier, but Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, there's not much I can say more about it that you didn't already say. It's just one of those things where Marvel, after they did this, it's like there's nothing they can attempt and not pull off, because it was the biggest question mark going into the year. And a lot of people were saying that this might be the one where they drop the ball. This is going to sort of ruin the record for them. And man, if they didn't pull it off, it's just from start to finish, that's such a fun movie. And it was literally the most fun movie to me of the year. It just, from the minute he steps on to the scene and the music kicks in and the title scroll comes up, you're just like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a good time. And it's everything else that goes along with it, with all these crazy characters, with the talking raccoon and the tree that only says 3 words. It's just an impossibility of mixes that got put together that really solidified Chris Pratt as an actor and showed that the vision that James Gunn had for this film was the one to go with. And he definitely put his stamp on it. And he basically made and launched a whole new franchise for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Guardians of the Galaxy, my number 4.
Nice. Well,
that surprises me.
That surprises you? You thought you'd be higher?
Yeah, I did.
I have a feeling
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I have a feeling I know the rest of Bobby's picks. I don't know about the order. But
you can definitely interrupt because, no, you know what? Like I said, my top 5 was pretty set, and maybe David is right in knowing the rest of mine. But, I mean, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Guardians of the Galaxy, which for me means that the ones that I put above it, they're definitely super special to me.
Gotcha. Well, my number 4 is a repeat of somebody else's number 4, and that is Gone Girl from director David Fincher.
Very nice.
I thought it was David Fincher at his best, and he is a director that he's one of those few directors that at this point I have not been disappointed yet, and he makes something. I will see it. Opening day, I love this guy. Even Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which, I'll admit that it's not quite as good as some of his other stuff, but I still really enjoyed that. And this was excellent. It was much better than I even expected. So, I have nothing really else to say about it that you didn't already say, Jascha. And I really enjoyed Gone Girl. So that's my number 4 film of the year.
It's funny. I just watched that again last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, man, I tell you, that Rosamund Pike, I don't know if she'll get overlooked because of when the movie came out compared to some of these other late movie entries to where the performances might get more shine, I guess.
Yeah.
But she did such an excellent job. And man, she helped to really make that movie break through. Like, I enjoyed Ben Affleck, but really she stole the show and is so good in it. And yeah, I can understand why you guys ranked it so high.
Yeah. All right, we are at our top 3. Michelle, what is your number 3 film of 2014?
We're getting down to the nitty gritty now.
Getting there.
All right, so number 3, Gone Girl. Hey. Yeah, man.
Well, we were all really on the same page with Gone Girl, weren't we?
Yeah. You know, like Dave said, David Fincher. Yeah, I'm there. Let's do it. Let's get some popcorn and a soda. I'm all about this. You know, for me, it was a good movie from start to finish. It was just a solid storyline. I think it was really kind of like, welcome back, Ben Affleck. How are you? You know, it's like it was kind of like a resurgence for him in a way. And,
right.
And yeah, Rosamund Pike, you know, she's been in a couple things here and there, but it really was, this was her great breakthrough performance, and I thought she was excellent in it. And yeah, I mean, my only critique of the whole movie was a few times I was like, oh, they could have gone a little darker there, but I think maybe they didn't want to get too seedy into things. But yeah, it was so good, so very, very good. Yay, Gone Girl.
Nice, Gone Girl. You're number 3, Jascha. What is your number 3 film of 2014?
And we enter the world of comic. My number 3 was X-Men: Days of Future Past. I really, really loved this movie. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great setup back and revisiting back to when things were right, when Bryan Singer was directing the X-Men movies. And it just seems like a really great revisitation and a startup for a lot of great movies with the X-Men characters.
Nice.
So I'm really looking forward to see what they do next. And that's why I put it at my number 3.
Cool. X-Men, Days of Future Past, your number 3. All right. Well, Bobby, what was your number 3 film of 2014?
Well, you know, Jascha pretty much just stole my thunder, so I don't know much more I can say about X-Men Days of Future Past. I mean, we both had it at the same spot, so that just shows how much we both really loved that film. I mean, I guess only thing else I can say is really that Bryan Singer coming back into the franchise, he really knocked it out of the park. I mean, he came up with an idea of sort of an ingenious way to just get rid of the mess that X-Men Last Stand and Wolverine Origins sort of created for the franchise, using that time travel in a way that I thought really worked and being able to reset things. And I don't know that that's always an easy thing to do. And yeah, I'm looking at you, Terminator Genesis, maybe. So I don't know, you know, it's such a hard and like a tightrope act that you're doing to try and balance this, not with just the time travel, because that's always such a tricky thing and can easily be messed up. But he also brought in new X-Men we haven't seen before. He brought in X-Men from the old franchise. He brought in the X-Men from the last one that he wasn't even a part of directing. So he balanced all of these things just masterfully. And man, that Quicksilver scene, it started off as a joke because all we could see was the character and the way he looked. And nobody thought that was going to be the thing that turned out to be pretty much the best set piece for the film. And it was just so well done. And kudos to Bryan Singer. So I got X-Men, Days of Future Past, number 3.
See, now I'm slightly confused. I don't know what to think of what your next 2 picks are going to be.
Oh, okay.
You threw me off on that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Oh, now I can't wait to hear. My number 3 is a film that it's amazing, and it still blows me away that I'm able to put an action film in my top 3 film like this, and that's The Raid 2. The Raid was amazing, and I know at least Bobby and Jascha, I believe you guys agree on that. Mm-hmm. And I was so insanely excited for The Raid 2, but also so worried that it was going to be such a disappointment compared to what we had already seen in The Raid. And man, was it not. Like, this is an action film that took an amazing movie and did a sequel, and thank God it didn't try to do the whole, hey, we're just going to, do the same formula again and make what was already awesome. No, it just went like completely balls to the wall over what was already balls to the wall. Like the Raid 2, if I don't even know what to say about it.
It was ballser to the walls.
It was insane.
Ballsy.
Yeah, it's impressive, and I loved it. The Raid 2 is my number 3 film of the year. I don't know what else to say about it other than that it's fantastic. And if you haven't seen either of these films, I don't care if you're not into subtitles. Get over that shit and fucking watch these movies.
I've heard that the ass kicking of which you speak is some of the best ass kicking ever,
Yes.
ever choreographed in any movie
It
ever.
is.
That's what I've heard.
It is absolutely.
That's the word
yes.
on the street.
The word on the street is
What
right.
you're saying is the movie is good.
Yes, I'm saying the movie is amazing. So, The Raid 2 is my number 3 film of the year. Number 2, Michelle, what is your pick?
My number 2 is The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's my favorite Wes Anderson movie, officially. And now, having said that, I have not seen The Fantastic Mr. Fox, but Grand Budapest was totally unexpected. I really didn't know what I was getting into when I started the movie, and I loved every second. It was visually stunning. I mean, it's Wes Anderson, so colors are just everywhere and awesome, and storyline was good. I thought there was good humor in it, really good humor in it, actually, and I was just constantly going, where's this going to go? Where's it going to go? What's the next thing? What's happening next? I can't believe this shit's happening next. And which is good. And Ralph Fiennes just rocked it. I love him, but yeah, he's just such a good movie. If you haven't watched it yet, I definitely recommend picking that one up for sure.
Grand Budapest Hotel, your number 2 pick. Jascha, what is your number 2 film?
It's funny. Like, I was really thinking about that too, and I was actually surprised that it didn't really make my list because I really love that movie as well. So kudos for you for putting it on there because I didn't. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought it was a fantastic film. Yeah. But my number 2 is a continuation of the comic Supreme, and that would be Captain America. That is The Winter Soldier. Loved it. I mean, I like the guys that did the directing on that movie. It was 2 brothers. Their names escape me right now.
The Russo brothers.
Thank you, the Russo brothers. I mean, they just destroyed all doubts that Captain America can basically kick ass all by himself. And he just was fantastic in it. I loved it. I loved every part of the movie, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And we talked about, or that was mentioned earlier, is that it just totally sets up for more stories and the future of, the Marvel Universe. I liked it a lot.
Nice.
So.
Captain America, your number 2. Bobby, what is your number 2 film of the year?
Well, I had a feeling that Captain America would be Yasha's number 2 because, surprise, surprise, that's my number 2 as well. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Oh, man. I mean, this film is just what was already starting off a good franchise to me. And for other people, they honestly thought that the original Captain America film was probably one of the weaker original films from Marvel. But if that was the case, and if people did think that, when they saw the Winter Soldier, their heads must have exploded, because what the Russo brothers did, I don't know, because what they did was so interesting and incredible, because they basically turned a superhero film into a spy espionage thriller starring Captain America of all people. I mean, for them to have basically changed the course of the entire cinematic universe and the television universe, like Michelle said earlier, the ripples are still being felt. And so when you can do that and blend it well, and obviously Chris Evans' Captain America is so on point, and all the other aspects that happen in this film, it just really set the tone for the rest of the year. And that film came out in April. So that's why it's my number 2 pick, because it was solid. And I just, from start to finish, there's nothing bad I have to say about that film.
Nice. Well, I'm at my number 2, and I will say first, my number 2 and number 1 were really hard to pick. I really went back and forth on these. So in a lot of ways, they could be either one. But at this point, as we record, my number 2 film is Whiplash. This, this was a film that when the trailer first came out, I wasn't even that sure I wanted to see it. As much as I love, the music world, and I am a musician, and I went through even music school and was in that world. There was just something about, seeing the trailer. I'm like, oh God, it just looks tense, and it looks like one of those movies that's good, but it's just not going to be enjoyable because it's going to stress me out, and Bobby, you recommended it and another friend recommended it, and thank God you guys did. It was fantastic. I loved it. I've never seen a movie do such a good job at showing the competitiveness of being a music student. And first Miles Teller. I mean, he's got to have some drumming experience from what I understand, because sure, you can, as an actor, fake, being a musician on different instruments here and there, but drumming, that's an instrument that's hard to fake, and I don't see him faking this. I mean, I'm sure there's some shots here and there where there's some tricks being done, but he was amazing in this. And then J.K. Simmons, if he doesn't get a nomination, an Oscar nomination for this, I may not watch. That's ridiculous. Like, he was just incredible in it. But yeah, I was just thrilled with Whiplash. Again, this could easily be my number one film, but right now I have it at number 2, so that's my number 2 film of the year.
Nice.
All right, Michelle, the recap. Your number 10 was Wish I Was Here. Number 9, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Number 8, The Lego Movie. Number 7, The One I Love. Number 6, Birdman. Number 5, Unbroken. Number 4, Edge of Tomorrow. Then number 3, Gone Girl. And number 2, The Grand Budapest Hotel. What was your number 1 film of 2014?
All right, get the champagne out. Here it comes. And I'm sure you probably already guessed this, Dave, but mine is Guardians of the Galaxy. That was by far, for me, the best film of the year. I don't know how anyone can watch that movie, have it end, and then not be in a better mood for the rest of the day. Like, I just don't think it's possible. It's a fun, exciting, it's just a great movie from start to end, and I think you go, James Gunn. You did it. Good job, you. You really you hit the nail on the head. And I don't know if anybody could have done it better. Honestly, it was excellent for a completely unknown storyline to be that well written, well visualized, well choreographed. The whole thing just excellent. And the actors were great, and such a good movie. And I feel like really, for the most part, you can see it as a kid and you can watch it till you're 99, and like it's a great movie for everybody to see, and I loved it.
Nice.
Oh yeah, go Marvel. Woo woo.
All right, Jascha, to recap your picks, you had Into the Woods at number 10, and then Edge of Tomorrow, Interstellar at number 8, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes at number 7, The Lego Movie at number 6, Chef at number 5, Gone Girl at number 4, X-Men Days of Future Past at number 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier at number 2. What was your number 1 film of 2014?
Well, when the ladies right, fellas. Gotta go with Guardians of the Galaxy, man. Movie was the shit. Like, I mean, like she said, unknown characters to basically hold their own and just have such an intricate and impressive story and an enjoyable story. And like she said, walking out of there, if walking out or not when you're done watching the movie, if you're not in a better mood, like there's something wrong. Like, I met this chick, no lie, over the week, said she actually walked out of Guardians of the Galaxy because she did not enjoy it. I stopped talking to her.
She has issues. She should be committed. She needs to go talk to someone seriously on a couch with a professional at this point.
Wow. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. But I think, to be fair, she doesn't really enjoy sci-fi or action and stuff like that. But she went and she didn't enjoy it. But that being said, I took my mom to go see this movie, and she thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And this is a woman who does not watch action films and really does not get into them, but she thought it was great. The unity, the family togetherness, the humor, everything that this movie was, and the soundtrack, phenomenal. The movie is just in itself. I've watched it a couple of times, and I'll put that on, for background noise as well. It's a fantastic. I downloaded the soundtrack because I enjoyed the movie so much and the soundtrack so much.
The soundtrack is amazing.
It is 100%. I'll listen to it every day in the car, or at work. It's just really easy, fun, feel good music, and it's a great movie.
A testament to that soundtrack. Also, I'd say a couple weeks ago, I was at Best Buy and they had the soundtrack playing over one of their radios, and it was just like. At first, I didn't know if it was just the song that was on, but then after the other songs started coming on, I was like, that's the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, and it's playing in Best Buy right now. So, yeah, it's a phenomenal soundtrack. So I'm so interested in seeing how he handles that in the sequel, like if it will still be prevalent or if he'll back away from it somewhat and just sort of make it a little bit a part of the film or what, because it's so synonymous with the film that to see how it goes going forward, it'll be a task to put together such another great playlist.
Yeah, one of our kind of major indie record store here in town had copies of it on cassette, and I was really tempted to go ahead because they put out a cassette version recently. But I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't even have anything that plays cassettes, and I'm not one to buy something just to, I'm going to buy it and put it on a shelf. Like I want to listen to it as much as cassettes sound like crap. Like, but I'd still be kind of curious to listen to it on cassette and have that tape hiss and.
It might actually makes it more authentic to listen to it on cassette. Honestly,
right.
In a way, it's it's why people like vinyl. Like it's that might have even been pretty cool.
Yeah. I should have just still bought a copy and found a cassette player somewhere.
Yeah,
that's
there's
true.
garage sales.
Is it still available?
I think it probably is. I don't know if they still have copies, but it might be the kind of thing you probably find online. I don't know.
That's awesome.
But it was a more recent decision to, I think, make a cassette version of that. So I don't know how many they made, but it's out there. All right, so Guardians of the Galaxy is your number one film. Bobby, to recap, number 10, Foxcatcher. Number 9, Unbroken. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes at number 8. Nightcrawler at number 7. Interstellar at number 6. Whiplash at number 5. Guardians of the Galaxy at number 4. X-Men Days of Future Past at number 3. Captain America to the Winter Soldier at number 2. Bobby, what is your number one film of 2014?
Bobby, you say Spider-Man, and I am going to try my hardest to slap the ever-loving crap out of you.
It's the only comic book film left, right? Like there was nothing else.
It is the only comic book film left. Man, now I'm kind of scared to say it because I'm afraid that I'm going to get slapped by Jascha. All right. No, just all kidding aside. My number one, from the moment I saw this film, I knew it was going to be my number one. It held steady. It never wavered. It's been my number one since I saw it. And that's The Raid to Arendelle. Oh, my God.
Had me scared there for a second, man. I thought, I'm like, man, is he not going to put this in his top 10?
No, I'm telling you, that movie came out in April. I saw it and I was like, that's going to be my number one film of the year. I know it will be. And for me, it's like I'm an action guy at heart. I grew up watching so many Kung Fu films and just loving Bruce Lee to death, just rewatching his stuff over and over and over again. So when I see a film like this and the fighting, as you mentioned earlier, the choreographed fighting of this movie, and it's so staged so beautifully. I mean, oh my God, it's like the camera work. It shows all of the action without cutting away like a lot of American films do, because the actors in this film are actually doing the work that you see. And so it allows the director, Gareth Evans, to be able to show it in all its beauty. And the set piece, from each set piece to the next, was bigger and more brutal than the last one. And it just builds upon itself. And car chase scenes, I usually sort of tune out in those types of scenes because it's always the same sort of thing. But in this movie, you just sit up and take attention because it's like, it's intense and it's insane, the stuff that's going on during this car chase scene. And it's definitely the best car chase scene I've ever seen on film. And that last fight, oh my God, I could have watched an extra 15 minutes of those two fighting because it was so good. And I just love this movie frame for frame. And I really wish someone in Hollywood would knock on Gareth Evans' door and have him do something in English, because obviously I still love this, subtitles and all, but I would love to see what he would do with some American actors and some other bigger budget type money thrown his way, because this was incredible.
I mean, I also like to mention the camera work in this movie. I think there were times where you had actors handling cameras and tossing cameras to each other, and it's insane. Thank God you put this in your top 10. You really had me scared, man. All right, so The Raid 2 is your number 1 film of the year. To recap mine, my number 10 was The One I Love. Then I had Boyhood at number 9, The Babadook at number 8, Snowpiercer at number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy at number 6, Interstellar at number 5, Gone Girl at number 4, The Raid 2 at number 3, Whiplash at number 2. My number 1 film was Birdman this year. Nothing can really do it for me more than a unique experience in the movie theater. And that's what I got from Birdman. You just don't see movies like this every day. Something that was just filmed to, first of all, just make it look like it was made in all one shot, even though obviously it wasn't. But some very, very long shots in this film. It had a very unique look at the stage world and the movie world. Amazing performances throughout the film. An amazing soundtrack, as you mentioned earlier, Michelle. The drum score was phenomenal. I loved everything about it. I really, really enjoyed it. And that's my number 1 film of 2014, Birdman.
I had a feeling that was going to be your number 1.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Really, I mean, like I said before, Whiplash, there was a while there. I was like, maybe that's my number 1. It was tough to really put those two where they are.
Nice.
They could really go either way.
Awesome.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we don't see everything. Real quick, I'll go first to mention the stuff I didn't get to see this year. I didn't see Foxcatcher, which was on your list, Bobby. I didn't see Selma. I don't know if any of us have seen that yet. Mm-hmm. I didn't see Nightcrawler, which I've seen on a ton of top 10 lists. The Imitation Game I haven't seen, and Unbroken I haven't seen, which appeared on a couple of your lists. Those are really the ones that stood out as kind of high-profile, kind of Oscar-buzzed films that I haven't seen. What have you guys not seen this year? Michelle, what'd you miss?
I mean, so regrettably, I have yet to see Interstellar, which is why it's not on my list. And I have a feeling if I had seen it, it would have definitely been on it. I mean, it was all on your guys' list. So, I mean, I regret not seeing it, and I'm going to make a point to see it within the next few weeks. But I also did not see Wild, which has a lot of buzz for Reese Witherspoon. And Bobby, I think you really like that one. Mm-hmm. And I to totally downgrade my nerdiness, I've not seen X-Men Days of Future Past yet, and I really, really want to. I know. I know. Oh.
Wow.
It's bad. That's bad, right? Yeah.
Wow. It's just surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
I know. I really wanted to see Chef, Theory of Everything, and The Imitation Game. So, I mean, those are my big ones that just didn't happen yet. I should say they have not happened yet, but they will be happening.
Jascha, any films you missed this year you thought might have made your list? Had you seen them? Or?
Definitely Birdman. I haven't seen Birdman yet, and I really want to. I just haven't had the time. Obviously, I haven't seen Selma yet. I really want to see that, and I'm interested in seeing Wild. Once I found out a little bit more about it and the background to the story and whatnot, it really kind of got me a little bit more interested in seeing the movie. Plus, I like Reese Witherspoon, and she's a phenomenal actress. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out when I have some time.
How about you, Bobby? What films did you miss this year? Or have you missed anything?
Yeah, I actually did miss a few things, and not many, to be honest, but yeah, a few. Like, obviously, I didn't get to see Selma like anyone else. I did still want to see American Sniper. That I didn't get a chance to see that anywhere. As Jascha mentioned, that he did get to see, I didn't get to see Chef yet, and I really want to see that. And I think the other one that I didn't get a chance to see was the Grand Budapest Hotel. So...
that was a good one, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think really I'll be watching that tonight.
It's on HBO Go.
Okay. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I do. So
yeah.
I think I'll check that out then.
Nice. All right. Well, that was our top 10 films of the year, but we are not done. We still have plenty to talk about. And we will move on with our honorable mentions. I don't know about you guys, but I had plenty of films that were close to making my list and didn't quite make it. And others I just want to mention that I enjoyed throughout the year. But Michelle, I'll go to you first. What were your honorable mentions this year?
Boyhood, actually. I watched it, just a few nights ago, actually with you, and I really enjoyed it. It honestly could have been number 10. I was kind of going back and forth between that one, but Yeah, I really liked Boyhood a lot. I'm trying to think what else. I mentioned it earlier. Now my mind is blank. But I mean, I didn't get to see a ton of movies, but there were other ones that were pretty okay. And yeah, I'll just go with that. Boyhood is my honorable mention. Oh, Snowpiercer. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah, Snowpiercer. I mean, I did like it. It wasn't like it was the best thing for me, but I did really enjoy that one too.
Gotcha. All right, Jascha, did you have any honorable mentions this year?
I do. Just a couple. John Wick, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. It was just basically action filmed and action driven, and I really enjoyed the hell out of it. And then listening to you guys, I mean, I have to say the Grand Budapest Hotel is one of them, and then definitely Snowpiercer. Like, I completely forgot about Snowpiercer, and that was damn near like one of the best movies I've seen. Like, it was so good. It was so dark and so just twisted. And I think that is due in part to like the acting that Chris Evans did in some of the scenes that he had. You know, it was just phenomenal.
Nice. Bobby, what were your honorable mentions this year?
Yeah, I did forget to mention one other film that I had wanted to see, and that was Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. But on to my honorable mentions. So my number 11 would have been, if we were to go up to a 15 spot, would have been The One I Love. So I really loved that movie a lot, and it was close to getting into the top 10, but it was just really hard to leave it off and put it at number 11. But so that's one, and then I go on to have a good sort of list of different things, so I'll just run through them. But I got Birdman, Edge of Tomorrow, Boyhood, Gone Girl, Wild, The Imitation Game, Snowpiercer, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and Big Hero 6.
Nice. All right. Well, my honorable mentions. First, I'll mention I made the same mistake this year. I make every year. I don't know why I continue to do this, where we get close to this episode and I find myself cramming, like for an exam, to watch all of these watch all these films that I haven't seen yet. And I mean, this movie, I've probably watched more movies in 1 week than I did in a long time. So I don't know. I find myself watching a lot of movies that, I don't know about you guys, but you know, I'll watch a movie and it's great. I'll enjoy it, but I feel like I can't. Sometimes you need to like sit and think about a film for a few days. And like, for example, I saw a couple films in just the past couple days, which, you know what, in a week you may ask me and I may be like, damn, I really should have put that in my top 10. So like really the three films I think of that were really close to making my top 10 are first Under the Skin, which I just saw. And you just mentioned Bobby, from director Jonathan Glazer. It stars Scarlett Johansson as a very seductive alien who has a very interesting way of, taking human bodies, if you will. And it's a very interesting film. Very not a typical plot. It's odd. And I enjoyed it, but I feel like I still kind of have to think about it a bit. And it's an interesting watch. I highly recommend it. Only Lovers Left Alive, directed by Jim Jarmusch, with Tom Hiddleston. It's about a couple of vampires, which, I mean, we see tons of vampire stories, but this was an interesting take on it. And I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not saying I think it would have. I can't see it making my top 10 as the more I think about it, but it was close. Edge of Tomorrow, which a lot of you guys have mentioned, and I know you had on your list, Michelle. I really enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow a lot. I was really impressed with it. Other films I enjoyed this year, the Lego Movie, loved it. Captain America the Winter Soldier, X-Men Days of Future Past, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And honestly, top 5. I really like top 5 a lot. Those are my honorable mentions this year.
That's good.
I was curious, did you guys find this year, were there any films that you saw and enjoyed, but really that it's maybe like the consensus is most people didn't really enjoy them? You know what I mean? Like the couple films for me this year that I really liked, not really liked, but I enjoyed, and it just seems like everyone just doesn't like these films. For one, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't know if you still feel the same way, Bobby, but I enjoyed the film. And no, it's not the greatest comic book superhero film I've ever seen, but I don't know. It's the more and more I hear people rip it to shreds, the more frustrated I get. I'm like, did I see a different movie than everybody else? You know? I mean, do you still enjoy it, Bobby?
As a matter of fact, I do. I still have it actually enlisted as a disappointment, but not because I didn't enjoy it. It's because I thought it could have been better.
Right.
And I honestly think had they just stuck to one villain, maybe the Green Goblin, taken out Electro completely and not tried to overstuff it so much, just concentrated on that relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, still have the Spider-Man stuff, and just had maybe just Harry Osborn as the villain, it would have made for a much better film. And what we did get, I did enjoy the parts that I got of Spider-Man and with him and Gwen Stacy. So yeah, I still am a person that liked it, but thought it could have been better.
My other film like that, and I still hold true to that. I enjoyed this film. Sure, could it have been better, but I don't give a shit. I liked it as Godzilla. I know you guys weren't as big of a fans as me when it came to that film, but I still liked it. I don't give a crap. But did you guys have any films like that? Films that maybe you're almost embarrassed to admit that you liked? Michelle, no. Jascha, you have anything?
Not really. I mean, it kind of, sort of. I mean, and this is kind of like teetering on, whether it was really good or really bad. But it's like I kind of enjoyed 300, Rise of an Empire.
Yeah.
I thought it was close, but no cigar type of, feeling for the movie. But I kind of enjoyed it, because it's like you can see what they were trying to do. And I felt bad because the director seemed like he was trying to do more of like what the original director had done for the movie. I can't remember. Zach, probably help me out.
I'm trying to think of his name.
Zack Snyder.
God, couldn't think of his name. Jesus.
Zack Snyder. The original director, Zack Snyder, did with 300. And there were a lot of scenes that I did like, and some of the speeches, but it just felt a little long-winded. But I still enjoyed it. Like I watched it again over the holiday break, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's like it's kind of dark and it's kind of cool, but it just wasn't quite there for me. But it's like I hear a lot of people or some people that I've talked to and some of my friends are like, oh, the movie was so awesome. And I was like, it wasn't anything like the first one was. Okay, the first one was epic. Like I wanted to watch the movie again after I saw the first one, like immediately. I didn't get that feeling from this one, but it was still good.
Gotcha. All right, well, moving on. Looking back at the negative side of 2014, our most disappointing films of the year. Michelle, I'll go to you first. What films were you disappointed by this year?
So these are films that you were high hoping for, and they just missed the mark. They weren't the worst films; they just missed.
We'll get
the
to
mark.
our worst film in a second.
Yeah. Okay. So this is okay. So for me, and this should come to absolutely no surprise for absolutely any of the three of you, but for me, it was Into the Woods. I felt like it missed the mark for me. I was super excited for it, and as I sat in the theater, my heart just kind of started breaking off at the edges, and I was like, this just isn't doing it for me, and I was so sad. But for me, other disappointments, I didn't get a whole bunch, but The Monuments Men, I was actually really kind of hoping for that to be better, and they had some good points to it, but I don't know what happened. It's like the story just kind of got silly, and they kind of got lost in a couple of things, and they should have focused on other things in it. And it had an excellent casting, and I don't know, it was disappointing. I mean, it wasn't bad, it just could have been so much better, I think. And then my other one that I have on my list is Maleficent. I enjoyed it, thought it was a good movie, but again, like I was kind of like, this just isn't, it's just not, I'm not feeling any kind of real emotional connection. I mean, I think I think Angelina did a pretty good job in it, and I think the storyline was pretty good. It just, I think it was, believe it or not, I think it was missing heart, really, when it came down to it. I was like, I'm just not connecting to this movie in the emotional way I should be with a Disney movie. Like, it's just not, it's not happening for me. So yeah, those are probably my most like, sadness.
Yeah, I mean, Maleficent I haven't seen. Monuments Men I haven't seen either. Oh. That was one of those films where I remember being really interested in seeing it, but I quickly heard enough negative that I just quickly lost interest. I was like, everyone seems to really not care for this, so I'm good. I can miss it.
Yeah.
Would you like the problem with Maleficent?
What?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, just to follow up David's comment about Monuments Men, with that cast, you just think that you're just going to get something that's going to be almost Oscar worthy, because you've got obviously George Clooney, and then Matt Damon and Bill Murray and John Goodman. I mean, it's just like, wow, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be excellent. And as soon as, like David said, the reviews start coming out, you're like, okay, I think I'll just put that one on the back burner to almost never. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll probably never see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like period piece movies. Like I do like war movies, and and it draws me in because I'm a big history person, and like I knew about this section of the war, so I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually doing a movie about the guys that saved all the art from that damn Nazi Hitler, and I was like, this is gonna be great. And just like I said, it was just kind of like, oh, it just didn't seem like it was very organized in some ways. I don't know. Yeah. Sad.
Jascha, what were your disappointments of the year?
I Frankenstein. I had really high hopes for that for whatever reason. I thought it was a good idea. I did. I was looking forward to like just a fun story and a sci-fi story. I mean, I thought it was a cool idea and an interesting idea. And then it just was incredibly just bad. So, I mean, like, it made me sad. And another one that I had hopes for that just turned out to be just like, oh my God, this is such a disappointment, was Lucy. I had real high hopes for that, and that ended up being really bad.
That's the Scarlett Jo one, right?
Yeah, that's the Scarlett Johansson one. What else? And, Spider-Man 2. I had real high hopes for that, and I'm with Bobby. I think that if they had focused on one character, one villain, and one storyline, it probably would have, worked out much, much better. But I feel like all these other studios have seen what Marvel's doing, and they're trying their hardest to cram up all this information into just as many films, as little films as possible, without taking into consideration and thinking that Marvel has been developing this idea for the past 10 years now. So it's like it started, back with Iron Man, and they, gradually got into it. Like, I mean, let's be real. If Guardians of the Galaxy was a bomb, I don't think we would be seeing nearly as many development of, all these comic book movies from Marvel as we have seen now. They released like 2 weeks after that or something. They released like 6 different movies over the next, 10 years, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact stats, but it's like seeing Spider-Man 2, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to have the Rhino and it's going to have this, and then it's going to have, Harry Osborn and the Electro. And it's like, no, you're not actually going to have all those things in there. You're just going to make a clusterfuck of a movie and not really have any direction and try to, hurry things up, opposed to just letting them, naturally progress as a good story and focus on a good story to make that money.
All right, Bobby, what were your most disappointing
Sorry,
films
I
of
just
the year?
went off on a tangent there for a second.
I think we all agree,
Yeah, I can't argue that. I mean, like I already mentioned, Amazing Spider-Man was one of a disappointment for all the reasons we stated. And yeah, to me, it's not like they couldn't have pulled it off, because we've seen movies already this past year, like with X-Men, that had so many different characters, and they were able to do it. So it comes down to writing the script. It just wasn't good enough to be able to hold all the weight that they tried to throw into it. So I don't know if that's Sony's fault, because they have been. It's been heard in the past that they like to dip their fingers into some of these, directors' visions. And that happened with Sam Raimi with Spider-Man 3. So it's highly possible that the same thing happened to Mark Webb, to whatever story he originally wanted to tell, that maybe got massaged and teased into something that he wasn't wanting to do wholly. So who knows? But that was definitely one. And yeah, David, you mentioned it earlier that it's definitely one that's a disappointment for me. And I know Yash is on the same page with this one. He didn't mention it, but Godzilla. I mean, you go into it, like I mentioned earlier with Planet of the Apes, expecting to see what you pay the money to go see, and to be teased for most of the film and not see Godzilla until like the last few minutes, which was awesome, but I still wanted that to be the majority of the film, like in the same way that Pacific Rim, you got to see these battles and these fights and not just sort of pulled away from it every time that it started to get interesting. So I was really disappointed. I was looking forward to it so much. And when it came out and I got what I got, I was just like, man, I'm bummed because I was really looking forward to that, like, for most of the year. So that was one. Another one that I was disappointed with, and the cast was so good for everybody they put together that I just knew in my heart that it was going to be great. And it was directed by someone I like, which is David Ayer, and that's Sabotage. Now, that was the one with, for no one who remembers, and I doubt many do, that was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he had like this band of guys that were, I don't know, like wet works kind of people, and they'd go in and do different things that would allow them to just sort of make money. And so they had this big thing where they got this big heist or whatever, and they had all this money, but then it goes missing, and they think it's someone within the team, and everyone start to slowly turn on each other. And oh man, it was like, it was not good. It just wasn't good. It was written poorly. The dialogue was awful. No interesting characters whatsoever. It was just bad. And my other disappointment, and not because I was disappointed in the movie, I'm more disappointed that not enough people liked it or watched it, and that's RoboCop. I liked this latest iteration of RoboCop. I thought it did what a reboot should do, in that it had shades of the original, but yet it was still wholly its own thing. And for anyone that's maybe of a younger generation that didn't see the original RoboCop, or would even want to go back to watch something maybe that they would think is quote unquote old, that this would have been a brand new start for that franchise, and it would have been a good start, a solid foundation to kick things off. Much in the same way I thought that the Judge Dredd movie with Carl Urban would have been the same sort of kicking off that franchise. But yeah, I was disappointed that not enough people went to go see it or liked it that did see it. But that's my disappointment list.
Nice. All right. Well, I only had a couple films on my list, and these are both films that I overall still enjoyed, but kind of like what you were saying with Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's still a disappointment factor. I think they were good, but they could have been great. My first one is Kevin Smith's Tusk. I really enjoy his stuff a lot. I like him a lot. And I really was looking forward to this. It was just such a crazy idea. And, you know, as he talked about it in his Q&As, it was just like, man, this is crazy. This is going to be nuts. And it was kind of nuts, but I don't know if it was always for the good reasons. Like, it was a kind of movie that I feel like it was kind of confused of what kind of movie it was trying to be. And in a lot of ways, just pure fucked up, and then just also trying to be a comedy, and it was just weird. So yeah, even though I still kind of enjoyed it, it was disappointing. And another one that I talked about recently was American Sniper. This is a movie. I thought it was a good film, but it could have been so much better. And I think under the direction of a different director, it could have been a really amazing film. I'm just kind of disappointed it wasn't as good as it could have been. So those are my two disappointing films of the year. Continuing to look at the negative side of the year, I'm curious to know what you guys thought was just plain the worst film you saw in 2014. I'll go ahead and go first. And I'll just say that it didn't take long to decide that Transformers Age of Extinction was just pure shit. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It was horrendous. I think I had a little bit of hope that maybe Michael Bay could do something different with this. You know, I mean, the first one was fine. The second one was bad. The second half of the third one was actually entertaining, but the first half was horrendous. This, I was like, maybe you could do something unique here. And no, it was just awful. I just hated it. And it's depressing that it's the top worldwide grossing film of the year, and there's going to be more, and we can't get away from this. But yeah, that's by far, I think, easily my worst film of the year. Michelle, what was your worst film of 2014?
Well, I'm pretty harsh with movies sometimes, and so I don't see a lot of movies that if I look at the trailer and I go, God, that just looks stupid, I don't even bother spending my money.
Right.
I literally just don't go to them. So yeah, it was kind of hard to pick worst because there's a lot of movies that I've heard are horrible, and I'm like, well, I didn't even see them because I think they look like shit from the beginning. So, but I did, and God help me, this has got to be the female in me. I saw Winter's Tale, and it was the biggest piece of tripe I've ever watched in my life.
Winter's Tale.
God. It was horrendous. It came out the beginning of the year, and it had a guy that I don't really like anyways, and then a chick from Downton Abbey in it.
Oh, Colin Farrell?
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Oh, that movie. Okay, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this now.
I had to
I had to look this up, too.
And then, Russell Crowe's in it, and oh, dear God. I mean, I made it through to the end, but oh, Lordy Jesus, God. The only glimmer of saving grace in that movie was the surprise of Will Smith. And that was it. The rest of it, oh, Lord Jesus, that's bad.
Man, you totally ruined it for me.
Spoiler alert.
God.
Oh God! And like when he came on the screen, I was like, "Hey, we could have some vindicate." No, I mean it was the only glimmer of goodness out of that entire film. I don't even know how long it was, but God, it was just crap.
So that's what he's been doing with his time.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, he was in it for like I think altogether a grand total of 5 minutes, and those 5 minutes were great. That was literally probably the best part of that whole movie was Will Smith's 5 minutes. Yeah. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Jascha, what was your worst film of the year?
Well, David, I have to say, I'm going to go with Transformers, buddy. I'm definitely going to go with Transformers and Godzilla. Because, yes, both of those things were absolute crap.
That's an audible. You weren't going to say that.
I was wondering why Joshua was quiet when I mentioned Godzilla.
He was holding on to that boy.
I knew we were doing one more hate list, and I knew that this was going to be on it. So I just wanted to keep my mouth shut because I have nothing good to say about that movie. You mean the movie about watching Bryan Cranston for 5 minutes and then never getting to actually see Godzilla? Yes. F you, Godzilla. F you. Okay? And Transformers, don't even get me started on that pile of dung where Michael Bay just jumps from scene to scene, from sunset to sunset, to flag flying for no apparent reason when there doesn't seem to be any breeze, and Mark Wahlberg running around with a gun that for some reason he's able to hold, and this is supposed to be an Aliens. What? Give me a break, please. Stop it. Stop it now. There is enough. We have enough bad things in the world. We don't need another Transformers. Or Godzilla.
There's a lot of passion happening in this segment. I can feel there's a lot of passion, a lot of hate.
I just had to get that out. See, I said at the beginning of the show, I didn't know I had this much hate in me. But apparently
Feels good though. Feels good to get it out there.
It feels great.
You know, actually, on your guys' disappointment list, I know we sort of moved past it a little bit, but did any of you guys end up seeing A Million Ways to Die in the West?
Actually, no. I never did.
I didn't see it either, but I think a lot of people probably. Oh, how did you feel about it?
Honestly, I was disappointed big time because let's just put that out there too. I forgot to mention that one. That's another thing that I just really didn't like. It's like here's something that everybody was looking forward to because Seth
MacFarlane.
help me.
Yeah,
MacFarlane. Thank you. So I kept wanting to say Seth Rogen. Seth MacFarlane. But you see all the funny parts in the commercials, and I hate it when they do that. And it's a letdown, and it just wasn't great. It wasn't great. You're not missing much. If you're bored and you're sick and you have nothing else to do and you're home alone, yeah, go ahead and watch that movie. Aside from that, don't waste your time.
And one more. Okay. Did anybody watch Hercules?
Nope.
I did.
Okay. Neither of the two that came out this year, actually.
Did it make that list too as a disappointment?
Bobby, I wrote a review on it. Did you not read my review? Remember?
Do you not read FlickerEffect.com, Bobby?
Good God, man.
Review that.
I mean, my whole thing was like, how did Brett Ratner take a age-old story like the story of Hercules, where the story is basically written for you, and he just twists it up into a cluster of like, wait, that's not the story of Hercules. Anybody that's even remotely familiar with Greek mythology kind of knows the story of Hercules. And if you go and you watch this, and you're just like, well, that's not the story of Hercules. That's not it, right at all. Like, what the hell are you talking about? What in holy Greek God are you talking about, right? And it's a shame because I like Dwayne. I like Dwayne Johnson a lot, and I think he would have made an awesome Hercules had he been given a chance to really make Hercules. But what they did do is make some bullshit action adventure film where it is kind of all over the place, and you never really get a feel for the Hercules character.
I think you could almost sum up the whole statement of what you said, like just with the first, I think, 4 words you said is, how did Brett Ratner? I mean, all you have to say is that, and you can kind of already write the rest of it, because it's still kind of amazing that he's being handed stuff to be able to do. And I can't imagine someone else will give him something as big to be able to potentially mess up again. So yeah, maybe that'll be the last we kind of see of him mishandling things that maybe should be a no-brainer.
Hey, no more than M. Night Shyamalan.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, there's that. All right.
Okay,
well, Bobby, what was your worst film?
My worst film. See, I suspect the reason why you went first, David, was because you knew that me and you and Jascha were probably going to all say Transformers, because that obviously was definitely the worst ever. I mean, I hold Transformers near and dear to my heart because I grew up watching the cartoon and loved that franchise more than anything. I mean, I used to always get different figures when I was a kid and even trade with other people that had them and stuff. So I loved that franchise growing up. But then it was like, when that first movie came out, it was like, man, yes, someone is finally doing this. And I enjoyed it. But, obviously I was disappointed on some level because the designs of the characters weren't what I was hoping for. And even some of the characteristics of the characters weren't sort of true to their nature that they were in the cartoon, except for Optimus. I mean, he seemed to be pretty solid, and they got him right.
You mean like, you mean basically like Bumblebee not being able to fucking speak?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. And then it's like the one person you got right that you were pretty solid on, and his name says it all. He's Optimus. So how in this last movie that you get to the point where he pretty much is willing to shoot up humans, and like he doesn't care about the human race anymore, and he's just like this almost crotchety old Autobot that is just forsaking everything. I mean, it's just so far away from the character, and it was just bad on multiple levels. It should definitely win a Razzie for this year, because even though it's the box office champion of worldwide ticket sales, that movie, that's the whole crazy thing about it. The fact that it is so huge worldwide, and yet here in the States it didn't do as well as they probably could have done. And to me, that's a testament to the fact that people want to see a good Transformers film, but they are willing to, I guess, accept what they are getting because of the money it's making. But imagine how much more money it can make if it was actually good. At the very least, it could have been the box office champion domestically and foreign. But yeah, we keep getting crap. And knowing that Michael Bay will still be attached in some form with the next one,
yeah,
I don't even think I'll watch it. Honestly, I mean, until it's the weirdest thing when most people say and hear the word reboot to a franchise, they groan, they get upset, they don't know why there needs to be a reboot for this and such and such. But when you mention reboot and Transformers, it's like people can't wait. They can't wait till Michael Bay is not attached to it anymore. They can't wait to see who else gets attached to it and getting this fresh start on the franchise. And that generally doesn't happen. So when you hear that, I don't know how as a studio you don't say, you know what, even though we're making this much money artistically or in some sort of form viable to the story, we're not hitting the mark. And maybe we need to reassess to make it even better, to make it something that will have more legs and won't crash and burn here soon. So I don't know. That movie is just crap all the way through, and yeah, that's definitely the worst. My other worst film of the year actually made my disappointment list, so it got doubled up on, which was Sabotage. That, I mean, not only was I disappointed because I thought it was going to be better than it was, but it was just crap. It was just not good, and I mentioned how bad it was earlier, so I won't say too much more about it. But yeah, those are my two films that I thought were the worst for the year.
As I sit here and listen to the three of you, all I keep thinking is, thank God I didn't light my money on fire at Transformers. Sweet Jesus, I didn't donate to that. Oh.
Yeah. I don't
Thank
know
you
what
for making me feel like shit, Michelle.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm not that's not what I meant. I'm just saying, like, thank God I didn't donate to the crap fest that is apparently Transformers, you know. But
No,
I have to say, this is going to be really funny when we get to the what we're looking forward to next year, because, I've got a good one. You guys are going to gang off on me so bad. It's going to be so good.
Well, that's why I think it's funny about the Transformers thing, is because, like you said, you didn't donate your dollars to it. And so I'll actually be using that same scenario next time around and not giving that any of my money, because I don't want to support it. And I want it to go away and start over again. So I feel like if I do give money to it, I'm encouraging them to keep going with it. And I don't want to see more of these.
Right. Well, with that said, looking forward to the year that is now already here, 2015. Lots of films, and we can already just all say right now, what films are you looking forward to leading up to Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is really the
What's going to hold you off for the next 11 months?
What are the appetizer films that are going to, get you by until December 18th finally gets here? Michelle, what films are you looking forward to this year?
Okay, well, I'll get the two that I think you guys are going to groan at me the most about out of the way. So since we're talking about childhood things and them coming to life on the big screen, and God help me, it's probably going to be horrific. Because if we've learned anything from the G.I. Joe movies and the Transformer movies, from television shows and toys from our wonderful 80s childhood, but God help me, I will probably see Jem and the Holograms.
That a girl.
Oh my God. Like, it's going to be horrible. I know it. But God, I have to see this. This is like, I mean, I play with G.I. Joes. I watch G.I. Joe. I used to play with Transformers and watch Transformers when I was a kid, but I also was a girl and I watched Jem and the Holograms, and I loved every waking moment of it. And
that's crazy that you say that. I'm sorry. Because, I mean, to me, that's just like 80s fun. And everybody knows, who's listening to this podcast, they know that Jem is truly, truly outrageous. And to see that film, it's going to be something else. So
I thought you guys were going to give me shit for this. I thought I was going to hear it. I'm excited for Jem and the Holograms. I admit it. It's just, that's my childhood. Like, I'm excited. It's little things. Anyways, the other one I think you guys are going to jump on me for, and God willing, nothing magically horrific happens again. It's coming out very soon. And the only reason I'm excited for it is because of who's done this, and they haven't done anything in a while, is God bless the Wachowskis for finally giving us Jupiter Ascending. And I hesitate, but I am looking forward to it only because it's the Wachowski brothers. And I mean, it's a bad sign that it's been put off this much, and I know that, but I'm still going to go see it. I'm still excited to go see this movie. So it's probably going to be a crap fest too. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's on my list. It's not like my most anticipated, but I'm anticipating.
It's not my most anticipated, but it's something. I mean, the Wachowskis haven't done a lot recently, the past few years, and so it's like, finally they've got something. They finally put something back out, and so for me, that's really what is exciting for me. Right. But real quick, I'll just kind of shoot through these. Cinderella, I'm actually looking forward to now that I've seen a real trailer for it. Mad Max Fury Road, but I think unfortunately that's going to get blasted out of the water by Avengers Age of Ultron, which I feel all of us are going to be just stupid gaga excited about when that hits life in May 1st. So, if anybody heard my little buzzed tyrant on Jurassic World, I'm excited for that one. Ant-Man, Pan, the new Bond movie, Spectra, that's a ways away, but I will see Terminator. I am excited for Inside Out. Go Disney. That looks really good. And then also Disney's Tomorrowland. I think think it's got some potential, and I don't really know anything about that movie, which is what's also kind of interesting and exciting about Tomorrowland. So, yeah, those are my kind of, that's happening kind of list.
Nice. Jascha, what are you looking forward to this coming year?
Oh, well, one comes out in actually this week on Friday. I'm looking forward to Taken 3, just because I'm looking for resolution and I want it to be over. But I like Liam Neeson, and I'll go and I'll watch anything that Liam Neeson does just because I think he's a badass. I like him. And I'm just looking for more, basically the same that I got from the first two. The first one I thought was beautiful and it was fantastic. The second one, not so much, but I'm still looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to Kingsman. That looks really good. I can't wait to see that one. And I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to Hot Tub Time Machine. Hot Tub Time Machine too. Mm-hmm. I thought the first one was laugh out loud hysterical, and I hope that it's just more of the same shit, because if it's just that silly all over again, I'll enjoy it. And I like Rob Corddry. I don't think he gets enough work, but I think he's hilarious. I'm looking forward to Chappie. That's a movie by Neil Blomkamp. And I like everything that I have seen this guy do, because he is so gritty and so real, and it's just so good. And this looks really good. It's a story about AI. Can't wait to see that. I'm looking forward to Furious 7, just because I want to see what they're going to do. I've liked the last two, and I'm interested, I guess you could say, more so what they're going to do with the seventh one. And I'm almost permanently excited and think about it every day, thinking about Avengers. Let's just be real. I think everybody is. I'm with you with Mad Max. I definitely want to see Ted 2. Ant-Man is coming out, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm interested in the Fantastic Four, but I'm not like, I can't wait to see it, because they've gone so far from the story of Fantastic Four. I feel like they shouldn't even call it Fantastic Four anymore. Definitely looking forward to the Bond movie and Tomorrowland. And also Star Wars, obviously. And I can't wait to see the trailer for Superman versus Batman.
Oh, you're looking forward to the real trailer.
Yes,
the trailer for the movie that comes out 2 years from now.
The trailer will come out like January of 2016, dude. It probably won't come out this year.
Oh, God.
Just thought I'd throw that in there because I know we're all looking forward to that trailer. Sooner or later, we'll get a teaser or something.
God, we love to needle Dave.
Me.
No, it's not. It's me. I feel like, because every time, like as Jascha was saying that, I was just shaking my head and looking down. I'm like, God, man, that movie is still a year away. Like, how is that possible?
Just think, we're going to probably see a trailer for Star Trek 3 before the movie comes out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy.
Star Trek 3 comes out that summer. This movie isn't even in production yet. You fucking believe that shit?
Man,
it's never going to happen.
Never gonna happen.
Anyway,
my anticipation level. I mean, I can't wait to see it, and if it doesn't live up to the expectations I'm already having for it, somebody's gonna lose a theater chair, because I'm just gonna riot up in there, because I think with all this time they had to have gotten it right.
And that's the biggest problem with them waiting so long, is it just it increases the expectations, and there's a full year more of us going, man, we can't wait.
I know.
Oh, God.
You know what? There's something else that I just saw just right now on this list, and I'm actually looking forward to Mission Impossible 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have that on my list.
Yeah, definitely can't wait for that one.
So, Bobby, what is on your list for 2015?
Okay, most of what a lot of you guys already said, so I'll just run through them here. Star Wars, Age of Ultron, Furious 7, The Kingsman, Mad Max Fury Road, Ant-Man, Paul Bart Mall Cop 2, just kidding, Spectre.
Like,
Spectre.
That's up there? That's
okay.
The latest James Bond, so Spectre. London Has Fallen. I really like that Olympus Has Fallen, so I want to see what they do with the sequel. Mission Impossible 5, Tomorrowland. Straight Outta Compton. I really want to see how that comes out. Obviously grew up with the NWA music, so want to see how that translates to film. Jurassic World, Crimson Peak, which is the Guillermo del Toro film. It's I believe, a horror film. So, if you've liked any of his stuff in the past, that should be in for a treat, hopefully. And the other one that I don't know much about, but it's an interesting cast, and the director is someone who's been spotlighted a lot lately. And the movie's called The Revenant, and it's directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. And so I guess it's based on a novel. And I don't know too much about it other than it's set in the 19th century, and DiCaprio plays this fur trapper that gets mauled by a bear while hunting, and his companions, they rob him and leave him to die, but he survives, and he sets out to get revenge on the guys who betrayed him. So, sounded interesting.
Who did you say the director of that was?
The guy who directed Birdman.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking.
Inarritu?
Yeah. Sweet.
So
you know what? I want to add something too. I just read. I don't mean to interrupt you, Bobby, but
go ahead.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is Guy Ritchie's new one.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing that because I do like Guy Ritchie, and I know a little bit about The Man from U.N.C.L.E. just from what I've been told when I was a kid and stuff like that. My dad watching it and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see that because they've been talking about making this movie for a while, and the fact that Guy Ritchie's behind it, I'm actually kind of interested to see where they're going with it.
Cool. Well, I have, like 16 films here on my list. I'll go through the ones I'm most interested in and most anticipating first. Of course, Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight, easily like right behind that at my number 2. I cannot wait for that. Everyone knows I'm a huge Tarantino fan. That's coming on November 13th. Of course, Avengers Age of Ultron. It's coming up soon. It's going to be here before we know it. I can't wait. Mad Max Fury Road. I've talked about it a million times. That stuff we saw at Comic-Con was insane. It looks amazing. And I don't know. I mean, it's got 2 weeks after Avengers. I think it'll be fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you just mentioned Bobby Crimson Peak from Guillermo del Toro. Something else we got to see a little bit of footage of at Comic-Con this past summer. Not much. But what we saw looked pretty impressive, and it should be very dark and very, very perfect for October. I can't wait. Spectre, the next Bond film that you already mentioned too. Those are my most anticipated films. Other films quickly, I'm looking forward to Jupiter Ascending, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Tomorrowland, Pan. Now that I've seen a trailer for it, before I couldn't care less, but now I can't wait. Ant-Man, of course. The Fantastic Four, just because I'm curious to see what this is going to be. I mean, I don't even really care about the Fantastic Four. It's not really my thing. But hey,
of course you don't.
Yeah, of course I don't. But I'm just curious because we haven't seen anything. I'm curious to see what Josh Trank is going to do with this. So, the new Chris Columbus film, Pixels, I'm kind of interested in. With Adam Sandler's in that film, right? It sounds interesting. Check it. Look up information about it if you haven't heard about it. That's coming out on July 24th. The new Ridley Scott film, The Martian. Ridley Scott seems like he's been a little hit or miss. But you look at this cast: Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Jeff Daniels, Kristen Wiig, Kate Mara, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Sean Bean. That should hopefully be pretty good.
In theory, that should not bomb, but, you know.
What'd you say?
Said in theory that should not bomb, but, you know.
When does it come out?
That comes out on November 25th.
Oh, man, that's a long way. Okay.
Yeah. Even though I am looking forward to, the new Pixar film Inside Out, right? But I'm kind of even more interested in something we haven't heard or seen much or anything about yet. That's The Good Dinosaur, which comes out later in the year, November 25th. And then, Furious 7, which you guys have mentioned already. I've liked what they've been doing with the Fast and Furious franchise, and this will be interesting to see James Wan now directing this, who is really at this point only directed horror films. And so I'm
get on that, Michelle.
You got to watch these. Come on,
Oh, come on.
you got to give them a chance.
I saw the first 3.
No.
You got to move past that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I'm okay.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, you are. But Furious 7 I'm looking forward to. Even though I'm a little like, what is James Wan going to do with this? But can't wait. That's on April 3rd. Those are my most anticipated films of the year.
I have a feeling that I'm going to get more excited about Ant-Man once I see I mean, they just released this little teaser, but we're going to get to see a real trailer during Agent Carter.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to probably amp me up more for Ant-Man. Because right now, I mean, I'll be honest, I really don't know much about the Ant-Man storyline. So I think that might, once I see this trailer, I think that's probably gonna get me a little more pumped for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's this Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, David, I know for a fact that you left one of those movies off your list.
My
And-
most anticipated?
Yeah, I know you did. I don't know
What did I
why. I don't know why you left it off. Like, you're fronting right now, but I know you really want to see Magic Mike Double XL. You like that first one.
I did like the first one.
I know.
and
You left it off the list.
I don't give a fuck. You know, I saw it and I was like, I'm tempted to just throw that on there to see what kind of reaction I get.
I knew it.
I should. You know, the only if it had been another Steven Soderbergh film, I would have. I love Soderbergh, and I mean that's why I don't think a lot of people give Magic Mike the chance because it was not marketed as a Soderbergh film. It was marketed as something else completely, and a lot of people haven't even bothered seeing it. And I'm like, when they hear that I've seen it and that I actually liked it, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's not just full on, just hey, candy for women.
It does have the Soderbergh feel to it. I mean, as you look at it, it definitely, you're like, okay, just kind of the way the film, it just, it has got the feel to it. So, I mean, but
I would have thrown this one in there too, but it's not him. I don't even remember who's directing this next one. Though I think Soderbergh is a producer on it.
Yeah, and I thought it was someone that maybe worked with Soderbergh, that was in his camp. That's directing it. I don't know. I can't
Maybe.
remember.
And isn't it
exactly, but
I forget. I'm trying to look now, but I thought I remember at one point hearing that even though Soderbergh's not directing, he is the cinematographer, so he is involved. He's the director of photography.
Oh, and that reminds me, when I was talking about The Revenant and Inarritu directing it, he's using the same cinematographer from Birdman. So it should be interesting. He said he won't do the same long continuous shot, but he will be taking something from Birdman and doing it in this Revenant film, but he doesn't want to say what yet.
Okay.
So it should be interesting.
well, that has my interest just based on that. That's got my interest peaked already. I don't even know what the movie's
comes
about.
out Christmas Day, I believe. So another long wait on that one. But I know Michelle left one off her list too. See, you guys are leaving stuff off, and
It's not. I
know.
don't have to see this movie, but
you do.
I'm
You wanna see
excited for
this.
seeing this
Come on.
movie. Just
ahead.
because I want to look at eye candy for 2 hours. Yeah,
ahead, let
50
people
Shades
know.
of Grey.
Do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've said it before. I didn't read the books. I really could care less. I really just want to go look at this dude for 2 hours. That's literally it. It's totally carnal. There's really no other basis for me seeing this movie. And I think some women might actually go to enjoy the storyline, and I really could care less about the storyline. I'm just,
I appreciate your honesty.
this is me being fully honest. That's just how it is. But hey, I owned up to Jim and the holograms. Come on.
No, that's good. And me and David, we had a conversation about the fact that movie comes out. What else was coming out that we were saying?
Isn't it Kingsman?
Kingsman.
Well, yeah, it's
Kingsman.
Same day, I think.
And I do want to see that one too, actually.
See, that's what we were saying. It was like, I think if couples go together, they're just going to split up.
There you
like
go.
the guys are going to go see Kingsman, and the women will go see 50 Shades.
Yeah.
I bet 50 Shades easily handles that weekend, though.
Yeah.
It's not going to be much of a contest.
Man, no.
I also want to see Vacation. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. It's like the year kind of the reboot a little bit. They got Vacation, and then I saw that they're redoing Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man, that's
like,
one of my
what?
favorites. I'm scared.
I'm a little scared. I liked the original.
Yeah. How do you make better or reboot something that was so good the first time?
Well, even with Vacation, I'm a little concerned.
That too. Well, I like Ed Helms, and I like Ed Helms, Christina Applegate, Leslie Mann, Chris Hemsworth is in it, Charlie Day. Like, I love all of these characters that they have attached to the movie, or the actors that they have attached to the movie. So I'm interested. It's
Hopeful.
like, that sounds like it'd be funny. Yeah, hopeful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Jascha, you just asked the question, how do you ruin that movie with Poltergeist? And I think for Michelle, the way you would ruin it is put the little girl from Into the Woods as the Carol Revolter guy. So that might do it for her. But yeah, I know. I have the same sort of trepidation, honestly, for a Vacation. And it's not a reboot, it's a continuation. And I still, for the life of me, would have loved to have seen Anthony Michael Hall be the character that's Rusty
that
grown
would
up.
be
Because,
epic.
you know, Ed Helms, I like him, but I won't see him as Rusty as compared to having seen Anthony Michael Hall as that character. So it'll be interesting to see. And I was just talking last night to a couple of friends, and I was talking about how the other day I was watching Christmas Vacation and how it still holds up. And they hadn't seen the Vacation films, so I was like surprised. And yeah, those to me are classics. So it's going to be hard seeing that, and I might have to wait and see what Jascha thinks, because I don't want it to just sort of kind of put a damper on the series, because I love that series so much.
Well, all right, guys. We made it through another top 10 show. 2015 is here. And Michelle, it's good having you on the show again. Thanks for... I hope you will continue to be with us through this next year, even though you'll be watching the Golden Globes next weekend.
Yeah, I'm missing out next week. I'm watching the Golden Globes with my award show buddy. So, and then I'll miss the weekend we do the Academy Awards, because I'll be watching it too. But you know, I mean, I'm an award show girl. I love them. God, Awards. I know it's all just a big, who's the most popular kid in school contest, but I still love them. I love those award shows. God bless them.
I watch them.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just have it on the TV while we record and just do like live commentary.
That'd be cool. I could phone in and be like, "Oh my God, did you just see her dress? What was she thinking?"
That would be an interesting show. Bobby and I and Jascha just commenting on the entire of the evening.
Could you imagine?
Yes.
Talking about what that wearing. Tuxedo? What was that? Oh my Jesus!
Dude, she left out her mama in that award speech. What was she thinking? She didn't think her mama? She's gonna hear about that.
Wars were allowed to come to the Academy Awards.
Yeah, so I guess next week we'll be talking about Taken 3.
Well, I'm hoping that I think Inherent Vice goes wide release. I'm going to try to see that next weekend.
Okay.
And then I think Selma goes wide release too. So I'm going to either try to see one of those or both if I can, which, come on, really, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. Taken.
Yeah, I didn't know if Selma was going
My
wide.
problem with Taken 3 is that I haven't seen Taken or Taken 2.
Oh God, you're just like my other friend who hasn't seen any of those movies. I cannot believe that.
You just for Liam Neeson alone, you need to just.
We've talked about it before, and I know I'm going to try to watch these before Taken 3 comes out, but I just haven't seen them.
Well, real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on the podcast.
No, it's great.
A really awesome
you
experience.
Thank you for doing the show. I hope you stay with us. Jascha, you too. You joined us this year, and it's great having you on the show.
Hey, I love it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great having all you guys. I think this is a great mix we have going on here. And Bobby, you've been doing this show now, I guess, kind of full time for a little over a year. Yeah. And you were here, I guess, around the time we did this episode last year was when you were really kind of full time coming on board. You had done a few episodes before that. Mm-hmm. But this is a lot of fun. I hope we keep at it for another year. For those of you listening, thanks for listening. If you want to give us the best gift you could give us, just tell the people about the show. Give us a review on iTunes if you like the show. We'd love that. And thanks everybody. It's a lot of fun. So I don't know.
It's been great.
Looking forward to this next year. I'm hoping to make it to Comic-Con again this summer. I don't know that that's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm crossing my fingers.
Don't you have another child on the way? Those kids get in the way, bro.
That's going to be the big problem there. But I will be back at some point. Maybe not this year, but I'm hoping to be at Comic-Con this year. We'll see.
We'll see.
11 months to Star Wars.
Yes. 11 more months and however many more months to Batman vs. Superman. It'll be here someday. Just think a whole another year of nothing DC. Nothing.
That's true, huh?
Nothing.
I didn't even think of it that way, but there'll
be enough DC animated stuff for me to enjoy. That's true.
Keep watching that stuff and
keep enjoying Arrow and The Flash.
There we go. The TV side is kicking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What kind of laugh is that? That's a bit sinister.
Funny.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you can have the TV. Marvel has the film. He does a kind of laugh.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. For those of you listening to the show, please let us know what you thought of everything we talked about today. Give us any ideas for films maybe we should have put in our lists. You can let us know by emailing us at feedback@flickereffect.com. Remember, you can also find us on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and YouTube. You can find links to those accounts on our website over on the right-hand side. With that, I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Jascha Wilson.
And I'm Michelle Curry.
Thanks for listening.